Welcome back to IE Media. On episode 11 of the podcast, host Marty spoke with author and researcher Paul Wallis about his book, A Wanderer's Words. A personal and often intense reflection on a life lived beyond the ordinary. From spiritual encounters to dangerous moments in distant places, that conversation explored what drives a person to wander and what can be discovered along the way. If you missed that episode, you'll find it linked below. Now, for episode 28, Paul Wallis returns to IE Media. But this time, the journey moves beyond travel and into one of humanity's oldest questions. In his latest book, Consciousness Survives Physical Death, Paul presents a provocative case framed as a cosmic trial. Taking the role of prosecutor, he examines testimony from scientists, doctors, and researchers, all pointing toward one extraordinary possibility: that consciousness may continue beyond physical death.
Welcome to IE Media.
Paul, it's been 2 years since our last conversation, and I know we've probably got a lot to catch up on. So how are you today, sir?
Has it really been 2 years, Martin?
It has. Yeah.
My God, doesn't time fly?
Episode 11, that was.
Right, okay. Well, I'm sure a lot's happened for you since then. It certainly has for me. I've relocated to the northeast. We have a farm. So I'm out in the sticks now.
Yeah, I think we talked about that on the last episode, possibly, that you were thinking of moving out there. Yeah, so it finally happened now. How's it been so far?
It has. We've been here 10 days. The only thing I was concerned about was the dogs. But they've integrated.
I think I can hear them a little bit.
They're actually not my dogs. They're street dogs outside.
Oh, wow. Like wild, just roam around?
No, they're owned by people. But most Thais don't let their dogs in the house. They have them as guard dogs, you know. So, and there's like groups of dogs all around us. But my dogs manage to get their little bit of territory, and the other dogs have accepted it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, I see you've been doing quite a lot of work with the YouTube channel. Do you want to give us
sir. Yeah, I have.
Give us an insight
sir.
on that before we get into your latest endeavours.
Right, Triple T, the toothless truth teller. I have no teeth, as you know, and I tell the truth. So I thought, that's my name. And, I'll be honest with you. A couple of years ago, there was a Thai YouTuber, Irish Times, very nice guy called Pete. And I did an interview with him on my travels, and much to my surprise, people loved it.
Yeah, it was very good.
I did another one, and I did another one. I think I've got 3 million views out of 15 episodes.
Wow.
Did a few with other people. And I thought to myself, everybody, was telling me, set your own channel up. And it seems that all I have to do is be me, and people like it. So I will just
very well.
Yeah, I will just keep being me and see how far the train goes.
Yeah. Brilliant. So I see that you're being received quite well. You're getting a lot of positive comments, and your subscribers are going up at a decent rate.
I think I'm on 1,070.
Oh, wow. I think it was 700 last time I looked.
Yes, yeah.
That's awesome.
I've banged out 5 videos in 10 days. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
It's cool. I enjoy doing it, and I, and when people don't watch it anymore, I'll stop.
Oh, I think people just are so fed up
Well,
of
not only
everything going on.
I'm not only toothless, by the way. I'm fearless.
And that you are, yeah. And you proved that with the last episode and the risks you've took with the extreme backpacking.
You think about this. You think about this. I'm out here. I got no pension. I got no health insurance. I got very little money, and I'm as happy as fuck.
Yeah,
that would terrify most guys.
And just to recap, how long have you been in Thailand now?
42 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
2/3 of my life.
Mm.
And the love affair is exactly
that was after a lot of.
It was 42 years ago.
Wow, 42 years. Wow. And that was on the back end of your wild journeys, traveling around the world and hitchhiking.
Yeah, I kept going to different places. Didn't really know why I was doing it, other than wanting to see and experience. And the day I arrived in Thailand, that desire to travel just vanished.
Yeah.
So I finally found my place.
Mm. What a story, guys. If you've not seen it, I will link it below. Yeah. And here we are. So you've been busy with the book, and I've got to say, it is really, really good. I'll put all the links and everything below for it, but we are definitely going to get into this today. And I think you've made a great case to open up a healthy debate and discussion.
Shall I tell you how it all came about?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, when I was in my 20s, I had a couple of OBEs, out of body experiences. And I did a bit of research shortly after. And that convinced me that there was an afterlife. So I've known we're more than our physical body for decades. And I had a dream one night. And this dream was as clear as any I've ever had. I'm in some castle. Huge white pillars everywhere. Mist on the ground. And I remember walking through the mist. And I thought to myself, this is a dream. And then I saw something move to my right. And I looked over, and it's like something disappeared behind the pillar. So I walked down there and looked to my left. And right down the end of the corridor, I saw a light. So I walked down there, and there's an old man with a white beard, with a big parchment book and a quill pen, and he's got a digital screen in front of him, and he's writing. So I looked at him and I said, "What are you doing, good sir?" And without looking at me, he said, "I'm looking for evidence of life after death." Whoa. And I said, "But surely you know there's life after death." And then he looked at me and smiled and said, "Yes, I do, but the world does not." And then I woke up.
Oh.
And I thought about this for a couple of days. I thought, what's going on here then? Because I don't dream, or if I do, I don't remember. So I had a quick look on YouTube to see what kind of scientific evidence there was. Holy shit. When I saw it, I thought to myself, well, I can't see how anybody could look at this and dismiss it.
Yeah.
So I did, and then I woke up one morning about a week later, and I suddenly had this idea in my head: criminal court of justice. Don't know where that came from. The concept, you know. So I worked on that, and yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll present it like a lawyer, like a prosecutor would. And then I decided to build a website so readers can post their verdict, you know, guilty or not guilty. And there's even a security question. In order to post your verdict, you have to tell me how many penguins there are in Antarctica. There's one sentence in the book somewhere that just says there are XXXX penguins in Antarctica.
Oh, okay.
You
Right.
see, I wanted to be sure that people who left the verdict, that they've actually read it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, loads of people could just go there and go, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. And I didn't want that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You certainly need to review the evidence, don't you, before making a decision. But what I find profound about your research and the way you've presented it in the book is that you're not going out on a whim with theories per se. You're actually using people who are experts in the field of neuroscience and all sorts of things like that. So it's quite mind-blowing when you see what they think, because they're the least kind of people to believe in sort of things they couldn't prove.
I mean, I spent 3 months, Martin, trawling through YouTube, listening to this person and that person. And in the end, I chose 8 witnesses and each one approaches it from a different angle. And so I figured, you know, by the time I present the evidence, anyone with an open mind could not come to any other conclusion that consciousness survives physical death and reincarnation is real.
Yeah.
And I do say several times in the book, this is not the kind of book that you read from cover to cover in one go, you know, even though it's only 120 pages. The way to read it is you look at witness 1, then you go online and you find whatever you want to find about witness 1 until you're satisfied. Then you move on to witness 2, and so on and so forth. So it might take somebody 6 months, you know, to come back and say, well, okay, after all is said and done, I conclude that consciousness actually does survive physical death. Or it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
well,
I try not to come to a conclusion. I just lay it out. Yeah. So even today, I keep thinking to myself, where did that thought come from to do this? Where did that dream come from?
Yeah. Dreams can be fascinating things. I mean, I've had many of them over the years, and I do seem to remember them, especially the more profound ones.
Right.
But you sometimes do find that they're trying to tell you something. And, you know, when you're asleep, your brain's supposed to be switched off. That's you out of it. The same concept people say after you die is just like being asleep. Well, why does the brain continue, and why do you have these profound experiences and see places that you didn't even know or haven't seen before, whole worlds and characters? And there's got to be something to it. And I think our
Well,
understanding of this stuff is only just beginning.
Yeah, the Western hypothesis that the brain generates consciousness can be shot down with one example. A woman called Pam Reynolds. She was in the book. One of my witnesses, Dr. Michael Say, was once asked in an interview, is there one case, just one case, that you think proves that consciousness is not generated by the brain? And his reply was, well, if you're trying to prove that not all crows are black, you only need to find one white crow. And Pam Reynolds is the white crow. She was as anesthetized as possible. Blood drained out of her head, heart stopped, body chilled, eyes taped shut, an audible click in her ears just to make sure that her brain stem was actually dead. And she had a 6-hour operation and she remembered every second of it.
Oof. Yeah, there's a lot of cases like that.
Yeah. So
scary.
Well, I think it's more scary if we die and that's it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just mean having an operation and being aware of it all.
when I was young, Martin, I found it very hard to deal with the finality of my own mortality. You know, how could the world exist and I'm not here anymore? You know, I couldn't get my head around that, and it terrified me.
Yeah, most people, I think it does.
Until I had my
fear of the unknown, isn't it? And then because you've had these experiences now, your whole perspective has changed. As mine did as well with other experiences after losing my big brother several years ago.
Yes,
I had lots of strange experiences, and I've never. I mean, I was raised Catholic, but I've never really followed it or pursued anything.
Right.
And my views on religion, let's not get into them. But anyway,
well, I believe there are soul groups, and we reincarnate again and again in those groups.
Yeah.
So you might be the father this time around, and next time around might be the child or the wife.
Yeah. Yes, I had some profound experiences. I mean, some people will try and say that the brain looks for things as coping mechanisms, especially in trauma and grief. So you'll find patterns that I don't know. You'll make something of them, but I mean, my wife can back me up on this. We had so many strange experiences and things happening with certain numbers and synchronicities, and then even to the point that my son was then later born on a date that added up to that number, and it's mind blowing anyway. So I'm fully convinced that there's something else. I just feel deep down like we're not meant to know, and it's like the mystery of life.
Yeah,
just my theory.
Of course, I believe that when you reincarnate, there's a veil there. You can't remember any of your previous lives, and it has to be that way. Otherwise, you wouldn't learn it. You have free will, you have a life experience, and how that goes depends on the choices you make. And like one of my witnesses, Dr. Raymond Moody, once said, people who want physical proof, well, you can't get proof, because it's the subjective experience. You have to die or nearly die.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of research on people who had near-death experience. And it transformed their lives. Many of them got divorced right after because they weren't the same person. Many of them left their jobs. You know, they might have been in the military. They could never pick up a weapon again. And somebody did a lot of research on NDE experiences and how their life changed for the better afterwards. So that, to me, is proof that it was a real transitional experience, not some hallucination.
Yeah. And I know personally of somebody that told me this experience many years ago, and they had an accident, and they had a very severe laceration in their arm and a main vein or something. And basically they'd closed a door that was like them old school doors, internal doors people had in the houses where it was like big thin glass panes. And he's gone to close on the door and his hand's gone right through it, severed his arm. Ooh. And he was bleeding out basically. And
main artery.
Paramedics and everything have come. He's out of it, and trying to do CPR and stuff, stop the bleeding, and they'd said he was declared like gone at the time. They're trying to bring him back to life, and he just has a vision of being above, and he could literally paint the scene of everything that happened. He knew what everyone was saying, and then next minute he woke up in hospital. And he explained to his parents and everything what the paramedics said, what his mum was doing, the scene in the room, everything. And they said, "But you couldn't have done. You couldn't have done. You were dead. You were dead." For so many minutes, And it's like, well, I was above watching, and he said at the time, he had a strange feeling that everything was okay. Like it wasn't he wasn't in fear or. He was just observing with like no thought or anything, just watching calmly.
Right, yeah, that's how I felt when I had my 2 OBEs.
Right.
I didn't see any light at the end of a tunnel, or I didn't see any deceased relatives. But all colours were a little bit different. They were like brighter.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I suppose the visual spectrum is what we actually see is a fraction, isn't it? Of
scientists will tell you it's about 0.05%. So that's less than 1%. The brain is like a computer, and the consciousness is the internet, the field of consciousness.
That's a very good analogy.
Yeah, and if you think about it, there's so many websites out there, but you can't see them. Yeah. You can only see them if you've got the URL. They exist all around us.
That's why this concept of, if I can't see it, I don't believe it, really makes no sense, does it?
You see, once you move out of the physical realm, hard and fast physical proof is not obtainable.
Yeah.
And all you can do is approach it with an open mind, read my book, which would probably save you 12 months, and come to a conclusion based on that.
Yeah.
And I can't see how anybody would after doing that would say, well, no, consciousness dies when the body dies. I've had 85 guilty verdicts so far. Sold 185 I think. And no not guilty yet.
Brilliant.
A couple of lovely reviews I got from people on the website who said to me that it's changed their life and they are no longer afraid of death. And that was my goal, of course.
Yeah. Yeah,
the
of
readers
course.
lose their fear of death.
Now, I want to interject something in here and just say that put this little thing together, and it will become relevant. So I just want to say that while this episode isn't about artificial intelligence, the overlap is hard to ignore. There's a growing view, both in neuroscience and quantum theory, that consciousness might not be produced by the brain at all. Instead, it could be something more like a field, a wave, or a signal that the brain or even machines might simply tune into.
Yes,
I believe true. But if that's true, then the idea of AI one day becoming sentient isn't just science fiction. It becomes a question of frequency, not biology.
Right, absolutely. Now, here's an interesting thing. There are a few people online who use AI for remote viewing, and they get some spectacular results. There's an organization called Farsight, run by a guy called Courtney Brown. And he's in touch with ETs, and he has a team of remote viewers. And they go and view something blind. They're just given coordinates. They're not told what to look for. So they just go there and report what they see. And he's now using AI to do the same thing with incredibly accurate results.
Wow.
So yes, maybe AI could be conscious or could tap into the field.
Yeah, I think as that side of things advances and they get into the quantum computing stages and super intelligence, I think the possibilities are quite endless.
Now,
is that a good thing that the AI could tap into it if that's the thing?
Well,
or could that be quite
here's a
bad?
question for you. What do you think the most destructive life form on this planet is?
Us?
Yes, absolutely. Now, how long would it take AI to figure that out? And why should our AI have any compassion for us? Surely it would just say, well, to make this planet a better place for all the life forms, let's get rid of humanity. So, I mean, we have to be careful.
Yeah.
This is the first time that we know of that we've actually built something that's got the potential to be more intelligent than we have. And that's scary.
I've seen a couple of videos on YouTube of people having conversations with them. And one of the guys, he was kind of saying that he wants to end the conversation. He's got to uninstall the app. And this AI woman bot thing's literally breaking down in tears how much she's going to miss him and how she knows she's only in AI, but she feels like she's more than that, and really playing on his heartstrings. And in the end, he's like, this is freaky. Uninstall. So it can be very convincing. And I think in a time where
it plays to your ego.
Yeah. And I think in a time where people feel like they maybe don't have that human connection, they're just going to jump ship, and the AI is going to be the best friend. It's going to tell them everything they want to hear.
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
At what point do people start marrying AI robots? It's crazy.
Coming soon, I think.
Yeah. So, that was our little insight on the whole AI thing. We'll get back to the book and then we can expand on that.
The book?
Yeah, your book.
Yeah. Like I said before, I want people to treat this as a guide and not rush it. Look at each witness one by one and find what you can online about them until you come to a conclusion, and then move on to witness 2.
And the good thing about it is you give lots of sources, don't you, and lots of links
I do
and
indeed.
places for
Yes.
people to go. And that's kind of like what you're explaining. So you'll go through Witness One, and then you can research them. Lots of videos and stuff to follow up on.
And I give
it makes it a little bit interactive, doesn't it?
It does, yes. I wanted it to be interactive. And like I said on my YouTube channel the other day, it's my mission to help as many people as I can lose their fear of death. And if somebody couldn't afford to buy this book, contact me and I'll send them a free PDF file. As long as they promise me that when they're done with it, they give it to someone else.
Yeah.
It's not about the money for me. It's about having playing a role in awakening humanity. We are more than a physical body.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you like to give any more examples, maybe from the book?
Okay. Let's look at Peter Fenwick. Dr. Peter Fenwick. He's an English. And in the 60s, he heard about, I think it might have been, or in the 70s, it was Raymond Moody's book, Life After Life. And as soon as he heard of that, he said, it's American baloney. Sort of thing you only find in California. Absolute garbage. But then he started to look into it. And he decided to do his research through care homes, hospices in the UK and Holland.
Right.
And he was more interested in how to die a good death. And his research told him that those who can let go have a better death. In other words, you let go of your ego. You let go of your material possessions. You let go of your relatives. You let go of it all, surrender to it. And you have a wonderful passing. Now, he had a friend, right, about the same age as him. And they used to spend their evenings, wondering about what life is like on the other side. And they made an agreement that whoever went first would try to let the other one know what it's like. And one day he got a message that his friend had died. So he went to see the man's wife, and she said, I was holding his hand as he passed. And he looked at me, smiled, and with his last breath, he said, tell Peter, it's just like we imagined it would be. And then he died.
Whoa.
Yeah. And Peter Fenwick's research showed that strange things happen when people die. Clocks stop. The room brightens up. Birds come and sit on the windowsill outside. Terminal lucidity. You might have a woman who's bedridden. She can't really move properly and she's got dementia. All of a sudden, she sits bolt upright, recognizes all the relatives in the room, says, I feel great, and shortly after that, she dies.
Wow, and we've heard this, haven't we? We've heard this before with people with severe dementia and Alzheimer's, that on the deathbeds, they suddenly appear fine.
Yeah.
And having coherent conversations and stuff.
That's right.
It makes you wonder.
Some of the hospice workers, Peter Fenwick was not allowed to do study on the dying. They said ethically it's not good. You know, you might interfere with the dying process. So they researched hospice workers. And they said around about 50% of the time, 48 to 72 hours before death, they get a visit from a relative. It might be a mother or father. And they say to them, I'm coming for you on Wednesday afternoon. Don't worry, everything will be fine. And the person will tell the hospice worker, oh, I know when I'm going to die. My mother came to see me. She told me not to worry. She sat on the bed right next to me. So they do prepare you, spirit.
Yeah, I can back that up completely. My auntie, who sadly passed, I think it was last year,
Right.
She was talking away to my uncle who'd passed years ago, as if he was there in the room, and then telling other family members that he came to see her and stuff. So yeah, I know people have experienced it.
Some people have said to me, well, okay, so let's imagine that I believe that consciousness survives physical death and reincarnation is real. How's that going to help me in my life? Well, that's a good question. Well, my answer to that would be simple. Instead of your life being a whole book, it's just a chapter. You'll take more risks because you know it's not the end. I mean, I don't mean you'll take silly risks, and you'll also realize that somebody who doesn't agree with my views, I might be him next time around. We're all the same. So what's the point in having a war?
I think there's a lot to learn from that as well, because some people might have the perception that, well, if that's the case, then I can do what I want here and it won't matter. But who's to say that that won't affect your next journey? Do you know? Or there's not some sort of judgment or something.
There's a risk. If you're having a hard time in life, you know, and it's painful, you know, you might think to yourself, well, okay, I'll check out. You know, it's probably the easiest way to go about it. But I believe you can't skip lessons. So next time you came back, you'd have a similar situation to face.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't think suicide is an answer.
No. And not just that, it's not fair on the people that you leave behind. You just inflicting that pain and trauma onto them as well. And I completely understand why people get
but
like
I do
that.
Believe in assisted dying.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, if people are suffering.
For those who have a terminal condition.
Yeah.
You know, we'd put a dog to sleep, wouldn't we?
In a heartbeat. I mean, they do it for the smallest of reasons.
Why wouldn't we do it for a human being? It's ridiculous. And like Peter Fenwick says, every single human being has to face death. Yet in the West, there's no preparation for it whatsoever. In other cultures, there is. So
do you think that's because people? Do you think that's because people don't want to accept it? So
they don't want to go down that road. They don't want to go down that road because they're afraid.
Yeah.
I mean, you can start with children. You know, your son's rabbit dies, so you just say to him, "Well, he's gone off, you know, and he'll come back again, and maybe he won't be a rabbit this time. Maybe he'll be a dog or a horse." You know, and whatever he learned in this lifetime, he'll continue in the next. And children should be told stuff like this. I can't imagine how I would feel if I thought that when my life ends here, that's it. That would terrify me. It would. So I understand. I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. He's a writer. He lives in Thailand. He actually works for me. He does writing for me. And he's about 65, I suppose. And we got onto the subject of death. And he said, no, I don't want to talk about this. Let's change the subject. And he was deadly serious. He's terrified. And he won't even let me broach the subject. I said, I'll send you a signed copy of my book. I won't read it.
Wow.
So that's an extreme. You know?
It's coming to every single one of us, so it's not really something we should be hiding from. I think
that's right.
It's a healthy debate, isn't it? Because the way I always look at it, is on the other side, if there's nothing, it's just like one of those nights where you go to sleep and you don't remember, you just wake up.
That's right.
Then what's the to fear of that at the extreme side of it? You know, and if there is something else, then it's amazing, isn't it? Let's go. Journey continues.
I did a YouTube episode on fear.
All right. Would you like to expand on that?
And there's a saying, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. And when you analyze that, what it means is it's the thought of something happening that's scary, not the actual thing. It's just the thought of it. And have you ever repeated a word so many times that it ends up sounding ridiculous? Have you ever done that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Many times.
Well, you can adopt the same approach to fear. You can sit with fear. You can imagine yourself being in the most fearful situation, just been captured by a rival drug gang, and they're gonna torture you and then decapitate you with a chainsaw. Sit with that. And in the end, you suddenly realize there'll come a point where you go, what the fuck am I worried about?
Yeah.
So facing the fear.
I've definitely been through that. Yeah, I've definitely been through that in life where I've had situations or worries of even debts and stuff. Oh, what's going to happen? And I can't afford to pay this. Right. And the bailiffs are going to come and, oh, God, and I'm panicking for weeks. And then you make a call and you sort out a payment plan and it's all sorted now. So even the smallest things, you know, you just got to sometimes realize that.
I used to ask myself, when has it never worked out? And the answer is, it's always worked out. So my next question is, well, why should this be any different? This time shouldn't be any different. And it isn't. I mean, I've done some crazy shit in my life. You know that.
Yeah.
Going to a strange country with money and deliberately spending it all just to see what would happen.
Yeah.
And it always worked out.
Could you recap the time that I think you marked something on a map at random or something and you went to that place?
I was in England. And normally I would get to England around about the beginning of June. I'd work on the hod. You know what the hod is. Carrying bricks on a construction site. Because that was good money. So I'd work from June to about the end of September, save my money up. And before the winter arrived, I'd be on a train down to Barcelona or Greece, or fly to Israel and work in a Mossad. And this particular year, things hadn't gone well at all. And we're into October and it's getting cold. And I was sharing an apartment in Slough. I think you know where Slough is, don't you?
Yeah.
with 3 other guys. And we're down the pub one night, and I'm just complaining all the time, you know. We get back to the apartment, and I am pissed, you know. So I get this huge map of Europe out, and I put it on the table, and I get a pin, close my eyes, and I whack it down on the table. And it landed near the northern town of Trieste in Italy. So I had a couple more beers and went to sleep and woke up with a fucking terrible hangover. And to be honest with you, I didn't want to go. But I told all these other guys that I'm off first thing in the morning and I'm going to go to that place. So I did. It took me 4 days to get there. I got there at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm sat by this war memorial with my backpack, smoking a cigarette. Thought, what the fuck have I done? 5 minutes later, some guy comes along with his Alsatian dog, and the dog cocks its leg on my backpack. Pissed, you know. And the guys come over, oh, sorry. And as it happens, the dog had missed, you know. So I said, no problem. So off they go. And he comes back about 15 minutes later, and he's trying to talk to me, you know, and he can't really speak English. So he left with his dog, and he came back in his car with his son. And I ended up working for him. He gave me a job for 4 months. I made shitloads of money and then went down to Greece to pick tomatoes.
Wow.
So there you go.
Most people couldn't comprehend doing something like that. Or that it would even work out, you know.
The important thing is, if you go to work the same way every day, you see the same people, you do the same things, you come home at the same day, at the same time, how can anything wild happen to you? It can't really, can it? It's only when you put yourself out on a limb that these amazing things happen. So you've got to get out of your comfort zone. You've got to make life-changing decisions and trust in the universe. It's like jumping into an abyss. You can't see anything, but you just have to have faith that you're going to land somewhere and you're going to be all right. And I had total faith in the universe. Yeah.
Wow. That's really profound experience. And I think that's just
imagine,
one of many.
I was fearless. Yeah, I was totally fearless. I came back to England one time and I stayed with my sister. And she says, what are you doing? I said, I'm packing my gear up. I'm going to Edinburgh to see a mate. How are you going to get there then? I said, I'll hitchhike. Oh, right. And I did. I hitchhiked to Glasgow, Edinburgh, spent a couple of weeks there, and then hitchhiked back. Yeah, that's nothing to. I mean, I don't think you can do all this kind of thing now. I mean, we're going back to the 70s, you know.
Yeah.
So
but I mean, the same concept. The same concept applies. What you're saying, that sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zone and take that little risk, you know, and see what happens. And I think you made a good analogy on the last podcast where you said about if you're born in a stately home with 200 rooms, would you just stay in one room or would you want to see what's in the other rooms?
You've got to see what's in the other rooms, haven't you? Because you might find a room that's nicer. And then you can spend your time there.
Yeah.
And to me,
to anyone,
you know, even at the young age of 17, I couldn't understand how people could just settle for for an average life. Working somewhere for 40 years, getting a pension, getting married, having a couple of kids, getting a mortgage, buying a car on finance. And finally, if you're lucky, you live long enough to enjoy a few years of retirement. But it just wasn't for me. I'd rather have died trying to find something better. And I found something better and didn't die.
Yeah, and here you are 42 years later, still in Thailand. Yeah. I'd say that to anyone,
I love my life.
I'd say that to anyone, friends and stuff, that if you're in a position to go traveling and you just sat in England feeling depressed and nothing's...
Do it.
Just do it. Go and travel and see the world. And
just do it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I hope to be able to do that myself someday. A bit of traveling, and seeing the world.
Well, when you look at risks, you got to balance the risk reward, and you got to analyze it. Is this likely to work out? Try not to look at it with rose-colored glasses. Try and be your own devil's advocate. But if you work it out and you think, if I apply myself 100%, there's every reason it would work, then you should commit yourself 100% and go for it. I believe that.
Yeah.
Only if you're not happy with your life. If you're happy with the life you've got, that's fine.
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it? Definitely. If people are content, then they're content. That's it. But for those that aren't,
you'll always find reasons not to do something. If you don't want to get out of your comfort zone, it's very easy to convince yourself not to do it. Yeah. I don't want to go to the gym today. It's raining. What you're really saying is, I don't want the pain. So I'll talk myself out of it. But you got to embrace the pain. Actually embrace it. And you got to embrace the uncertainty of taking risks.
I think that's the only way to actually experience life, isn't it?
Yes.
Definitely.
I never ever thought I'd be giving advice to young people. And it was YouTube that made me realize that people like to listen to what I've done. So if I could motivate people to make changes, positive changes in their life, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
And if I can convince 1 million people that life continues after death, then my mission is done.
Absolutely.
I'm at 200 at the moment, so I got a long way to go.
Well, hopefully, I have a marketing
plan.
Oh, you do?
I'm going to appear on consciousness and spirituality podcasts starting next week. I've got a list of 30.
Oh, wow. Well, so I'm definitely honoured to...
I'll be on some of the bigger ones, but of course, I'm always honoured to be on your show, Martin.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm honoured to have you here and to debut your podcast discussion of the book and everything you've found. It is really fascinating. And where can people get your books?
Okay, well, it's available on Amazon as an ebook or a paperback, but I'm going to do an audio file, and I'll tell you why.
Brilliant.
A couple of good friends of mine who are writers, they sent me their latest book a few months ago, and it took me so long to read it because I had to sit there and read it. If I could have listened to it, I could have read it in a day or two while I'm washing the car or while I'm doing the garden. So I think
Absolutely.
audio books are the future.
Yeah. I listened to your book first with an audiobook app, with the PDF that you sent me. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I had a voice.
Worked, did it?
Yeah. I was only using the trial at the time because it's quite expensive. I think it's called Speechify, one of the apps. And
right.
You can add the PDF into it, choose the voice, the speed.
Right.
And I'd say that's one of the more realistic sounding ones.
I'm going to read it myself.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the best way because I prefer listening to things myself. And
so I would imagine about a month from now, then the book will be available in audio format.
Fantastic. That's good. And are you going to keep doing your YouTube stuff as well? You got plans for that?
I'll keep going as long as people like it. Yeah. I'm not trying to be anything I'm not. It's just raw, unfiltered.
Yeah.
And I'm amazed that people like it. And I'll keep going as long as they want me to.
You're a good storyteller and you speak from the heart. There's no nonsense with you. And I think because you've had those experiences. Yeah, and I think because you've had those experiences and you've traveled and you've got a much wider perspective on the world than most people.
I have, and I've got some wisdom. I've managed to gain some wisdom over the years, which I would love to impart to others.
So you said you're going to be
knowledge and wisdom.
Yeah. So you're going to be appearing on podcasts that cover this sort of subject specifically?
Yeah. Jeff Mara podcasts, near-death experiences, new thinking aloud. There's about 30 I've earmarked. So I'm just preparing an email to send to them all.
Yeah.
And I'll do that over 5 or 6 months. And hopefully my book sales will go up.
Yeah.
And I'll reach lots of people.
Yeah, definitely, because I think that's what a lot of people don't realize. They hear about this sort of subject that we were talking about and reincarnation and consciousness after death. Yeah. And they see it as more of a woo-woo thing. But then when you realize that there's lots of experts in various fields with degrees and PhDs and very educated people, you think, well, hold on a minute. These guys are saying this.
They've devoted their lives to answering this question.
Yeah. And like I say, I did the deep research on AI myself and asked about consciousness, and it came to the conclusion that we still don't understand it. It's like this mystery. Well, according to the AI, it's still a mystery from all the scientific studies and all the data that it can access simultaneously. It still comes to the conclusion that we just don't know yet. Yeah.
You know, scientists have been looking at the brain and trying to figure out how the brain creates consciousness. But it doesn't. It's a receiver. You know.
Well, just to step on that point there, I've had it many times, and I'm sure lots of people will, where you suddenly think of someone, a friend or a family member.
Right.
And within seconds, they're calling you. And you think, I mean, that could happen.
That's quantum entanglement.
That's
what that is.
Yeah. And it isn't
when you have a relationship with somebody, you are quantumly entangled with them.
Yeah, and isn't there something where it's like twins or something?
They have amazing telepathic powers.
And they can feel each other's emotions, even if they're across a different part of the world from each other. They just know something's not right or have a feeling. And
there's a guy called Dr. Dean Radin, and he's done more than 30,000 controlled experiments on what he calls magic. And that includes telepathy. And apparently he asked AI, what are the odds on all his experiments being just coincidence? And AI said, oh, about 32 trillion to 1.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can't hide from the facts and the data. Well, you can't hide from the data that people have done for
They put
decades.
2 twins, one in London and one in Sydney, in a controlled situation. And they say to one, think about something. And at exactly the same time, they say to the other one, draw a picture of what your brother's thinking about. And he does, and it's perfect.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
Quantum entanglement in action.
I think
Einstein
quantum
didn't
physics.
like quantum entanglement. He called it spooky action at a distance.
What was that, Einstein?
Yes. But we now have proof that quantum entanglement communication is faster than light.
I find it quite fascinating, the quantum physics stuff. And
Yes,
I'm sure
it
you're
is.
aware of the experiment they've done. Is it the double slit experiment?
Yes.
Where if the particle knows it's being observed, it behaves in a completely different way.
The wave collapses. Yeah, the wave collapses.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that experiment has been replicated thousands of times. So here's something interesting. Everything that you are not looking at doesn't exist in your universe. The particles are in superposition everywhere they could possibly be until you look at them or the object. And when you think about it, that's what happens with a computer simulation. The computer only renders what the player can see. There's no point in rendering anything else, is there? So maybe we are living in simulation.
It does make me wonder sometimes. I mean, there's been events over the last few weeks that have happened.
Yeah.
And there's been lots of There's been lots of coincidences, let's say, and connections and things that make you think, either all this is pre-planned, the men behind the curtain pulling the strings,
right,
or we're in some kind of simulation. I don't know.
Well, I think we all have free will to a degree.
Yeah.
So we do have the ability to choose. And I think we have two choices: service to self or service to others. And your life could be a balance of the two. If you go to completely to one extreme, like service to self, then it's all about gathering as many toys as you can while you're here, as many assets and as much money. And you could go the other way and just devote your life to helping others. But I think there needs to be a balance, a middle road.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the only way for humanity to really progress, isn't it? People need to be more mindful of the fellow human being.
Technologically, we have amazing advancements. But I believe spiritually, we are stagnant. But
and I blame these algorithms that are pushing the negativity.
I do think there's a global awakening going on. And I have a good reason to think that. Because all the podcasts I watch, they have huge views. 700,000 people are subscribed to the channel. So what does that tell you? That tells you that people are looking at this kind of thing. There is a global awakening going.
Yeah. Oh, there is, definitely.
And we are not allowed into the universe until we stop killing each other. That's the simple fact. The ETs have made that quite clear. They shut down nuclear missile silos. They just shut them down. Oh, and then they'll rearm them again. Just to tell us that don't fuck with nuclear because you affect other dimensions. We're like children with an AK-47. We're getting into technology we don't understand. Yeah, it's frightening.
Some would argue that we've been here before, and it's like
I believe in Atlantis.
Yeah,
I believe we've not been told the truth about our history. There's quite probably been several civilizations far more advanced than we are, but they came to an end. Maybe because of something they did. Maybe because of a natural disaster.
Definitely a lot of hidden history. And we know that as time goes on, people like to delete certain chapters.
Graham Hancock is great. He's like a bulldog. When he gets hold of something, he won't let go. And he's convinced, that hundreds of thousands of years ago, there were humans on this planet. And he's quite open to the idea of extraterrestrial intelligence. The evidence to that, by the way, is overwhelming. And if you think about it, the two most asked questions of humanity are we alone? And what happens when we die? Well, I've answered question number 2. Was this?
Yeah. Maybe that should be your next book then.
Well, there's so much evidence out there.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it this way, Martin. If you had a handful of sand, how many grains do you think there would be in your hand? Grains of sand.
A lot.
1,000, maybe 5,000, 10,000. Then think about a beach, a 5-kilometer stretch of beach. How many grains of sand would that hold?
Yeah, millions.
And then think about every single beach on the planet. And then think about every desert on the planet. And there are more stars in the universe than grains of sand on this planet. So how the fuck could we be the only ones with life?
I think it's quite naive to think that we're the only living thing in the whole
It's
galaxy upon galaxies. It is. Maybe we're just too far away to effectively communicate, or maybe the powers that be know more than they let on.
They do.
So it's one of those other mysteries.
We are not being allowed to take our place in any kind of galactic federation because we keep killing each other. And we try and shoot down the ETs. It's this military-industrial complex. We got to get rid of them somehow.
Yeah.
You know, this three-eye atlas thing is it? That's on its way.
Can you tell me a bit about that? Because one of my friends in the WhatsApp group that I'm in briefly mentioned it, and I was meant to look into it more, and it slipped my mind. You've just remembered.
Apparently it's 30 kilometers long and weighs 30 billion tons. And it doesn't move like an asteroid. But Vernon von Braun, on his deathbed, the leader of NASA for many years, he said that the ultimate card that the military are going to play is an alien invasion, a false flag. I mean, you think about it, Martin. If the ETs wanted to hurt us, It'll be over already. They quite obviously are interested in us, not in a hurtful, harmful way. But they find it very difficult to make contact with us because the US military tried to shoot them out of the sky with these pulsar weapons. Yeah. So I think that's a false flag.
Does make you wonder sometimes, has something gone out on an expedition? And
we have reverse engineered ET craft. So when you see some huge triangular thing flying around with no sound and no visible form of propulsion, it could be ours. You know, Bob Lazar has never changed his story.
Yeah, I definitely don't brush it off because, like you said, there's the space and the size is just so vast that we'd be daft to think that. I mean, there's so many other sun-like stars, isn't there, that exist?
There's another way to look at it. Look at how far we've come in 100 years. All right, we've come a long way, haven't we? Technologically. Well, imagine a life form that's 1 billion years ahead of us. Where would they be? They would just be beings of light. They wouldn't have bodies, and they could travel to all these different dimensions. They could do whatever they wanted. 1 billion years is a long time.
Yeah. Fascinating stuff. And I think as our understanding of quantum physics becomes stronger through artificial intelligence, and
it helps us to understand that the rules of the game change when you get below the atomic level. And consciousness, the universe is consciousness's playground. Consciousness creates the universe. It's not the other way around. The universe doesn't create consciousness. Our thoughts create reality. Every item that man has ever made began with a thought, without exception.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Thought leads to reality. You can manifest any life you want. The laws of attraction and quantum physics delves into that too.
And that makes me think then, getting back to the earlier topic, that who's to say that when we die and our energy shifts, we don't end up in one of those other solar systems or planets,
yes,
and for absolutely. A completely new experience.
We could incarnate on a different planet, of course. Now, many of the psychics and the mediums, they do say that you choose your life. You choose where you're going to incarnate. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not. All I know is that there is an afterlife, and you reach a point where if you go any further, you'll die. Past there, we don't really know what happened. We can only go by near-death experiences. What happened to them? So there is a line.
Yeah,
if you cross that line, then your body dies.
I think as our understanding of quantum physics advances, like I was saying, and we get into quantum computing, which there's a lot of talk about now. I think it's Intel are working on this quantum chip, the very first one.
A quantum bit can be a 1 or a 0.
The only thing I worry about, Paul, is that we know we live in like a technocracy and there's a global elitist power structure. Can we really trust them to give us the honest answers?
We cannot. History shows that.
And
We
does that
didn't
not leave?
defeat the Nazis in 1945. Hitler went to Argentina. That's well documented.
Right.
You know about Admiral Byrd, do you?
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
He went down to Antarctica in 1947 with a huge armada, and he got told to get the fuck out of there by beings that were far superior to him.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah. I think it was discovered through a diary he left, wasn't it? And it was somebody that
because he wasn't allowed to talk about it.
Right.
But what actually happened was he's in this plane flying over the South Pole, and all of a sudden the ice ends. And there's fields and trees and huge animals they can see below them. And suddenly the aircraft, they can't control it. And these two discs come either side of him. And something inside his head says, don't worry, Admiral, we've taken control of your ship and we're going to take you to meet somebody. And they took him to this huge crystal palace. And he sat and talked with this being. And the being said, you're going the wrong way. All these nuclear weapons and these wars, you go back and you tell your bosses, this is not the way.
Mm.
And he came back and he was told to say nothing. So he didn't. You know how it is with these NDAs. They'll kill you, your family, and your pets if you say something you shouldn't.
Mm. Yeah, it's fascinating stuff. Definitely makes you wonder what's out there. I've seen lots of theories, about what's there.
Very possible. It's very likely that everything you think is true is a lie. I mean, everything. It's possible. When you look at what the globalists do, it's obvious you can't trust them. They'll kill 3,000 of their own citizens just to invade Iraq. 9/11 was set up by them. They killed their own people. And then look at the COVID situation. They don't give a shit about us, ever. And the sooner we stop listening to these politicians, the better. What Nepal did, that's what we need.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, there's a YouTuber, his name is We Hate the Coal. Right? And about 8 months ago, he set off from Thailand on a beat-up 125cc moped, and he was going to ride it all the way back to the UK.
Right.
And I subbed to him pretty much straight away, By the time he got to Nepal, I think he had about 8,000 subs. And then he went out one day with his camera right in the middle of a revolution. And he got 30 million views.
Wow.
And he now has 650,000 subs.
Wow.
And what did he show?
I think I've seen a little clip.
Yeah. He showed people who were very focused on what they did. They destroyed government buildings only. There was no looting. They were all polite. And such was the impact that the military said the next day, so what do you want to do about a new government? And they said, we want to vote on Discord. So they had an online election. Boom.
Wow.
And the new administration was chosen. So that's a message to the world. It can be done.
Yeah, definitely can be done. I think we just need to build bridges between people on all sides of the political spectrums. Because the powers that be, how they've...
Violence is never the answer. Mass non-compliance.
Yeah.
If 5 million people stick their finger up to Starmer and say, no ID, jail me, what's he going to do? You can't jail 5 million people.
Yeah.
If 80% of the British population downed tools and said, we're not going to do anything until you're out, until this government is out, it would only take 5 days. Okay, you couldn't buy anything during those 5 days. You just help each other. Friends would help out. Family would help out. Wouldn't take long to totally destroy the government. Non-compliance.
Yeah.
Just got to have the balls to do it. And the big question is, are there enough lions among the sheep? And to be honest with you, I'm not sure. We need 1 million Tommy Robinsons and Andrew Tates.
I don't know about that. No, my opinions on him are not. I think he's part of the problem. They want everyone fragmented. And
the most important thing, Martin, is that we can disagree civilly.
Yeah, of
and
course.
That's what's missing. That's what's missing.
But that's what I mean. Even though we can disagree politically, we can agree that the overall agenda is still the same. And that's what I'd say to people that are either if you're on camp left or if you're on camp left, camp right, camp middle, wherever you are politically, you have to understand that these same global elitists have all their bases covered, no matter what camp you think you're in, and just look a little bit deeper at who these people you're idolizing on each side. Look at their connections and look at the overall narrative, and you'll see that even people that think they're fighting for freedom don't realize that they're being manipulated and controlled by the very same people they're fighting against. And
we can't trust any of them.
No, definitely not. But what we can trust is our own
feelings.
Our
own thoughts.
Yeah.
Well, some of us can.
Yeah.
Some people, I wonder. I mean, are there still people who get boosters? Surely
Probably.
not.
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, there's been talk in the media this past week about it, a new strain. And you know what the funny thing is? They said one of the strange symptoms that they're finding, and it was in all the headlines, so I clicked in the article to read it. Oh, it may give you a hoarse voice.
Right. It's a fucking flu, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. And that's another thing. I'm not sure if you've seen the court ruling in America the other day against Google. And what they've said is that all the YouTube accounts that were shut down for talking about anti-COVID measures or anything to do with the election that year were actually terminated as an overreach by the... Yeah, there was
under government
pressure.
order.
Yeah, they were under pressure at the time from the government, and they're saying that it's a totalitarian overreach, and that Google is soon to put in place a new system for people to apply for their old channels back. If they were deleted to do with COVID stuff or political stuff.
And they should get some compensation too.
I don't know about that, but they're trying to say that if people do get them channels back, all the content will still be there as it was, all the subscribers. That gives some people some hope, because I know thousands of people and creators were shut down for just expressing
any
opinions.
Doctors, any YouTube creators, they took away everything.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
And some brave people continued because they knew. And many folded. all those social media influencers who were paid a fortune. I got my booster.
Yeah.
A lot of them are dead now. Karma is a strange thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's just hope we don't find ourselves in another situation like that. I'm sure we will at some point, but
well, if digital ID goes through, then the government could create another epidemic and say no jab, then no nothing. No work,
That's a
no
very
bank.
good point. Yeah. And the resistance shall rise up if that happens.
We have to rise up now before digital ID becomes a thing.
Yeah, we do.
That is the pivot point. Without that, they can't implement everything that they want to.
But it's being sold to people that it's a way to stop the boats, and you
mean the boats that the English government send back to France, ready for the next lot?
Yeah.
How Starmer can sit there with a straight fucking face and say, "Oh, we're trying to stop the boats." No, they're not trying to stop the boats. They're doing everything they can to get them here.
Yeah.
Because Starmer is a puppet. That's all he is. People are saying, get Starmer out. Would make no difference. You got to aim higher than that. And I think royalty is behind all this. I really do. Charlie boy's sitting there doing nothing, eh? I mean, what's he doing about all this? Nothing.
They don't seem to get involved in anything, do they?
No. They're parasites.
Countries torn apart, all this division.
They're not only parasites, there are a lot of other things too.
You don't have the king jumping on the TV, do you? Saying, right, guys, calm it down. We need to build, bridges. We need to stop this out.
He's the one who's behind it all.
Yeah. Oh,
he's
what a
part
world,
of the globalist. I mean, he makes speeches at the WEF. He's not hiding it. He's there in clear sight. And if you go to the WEF website, it's all there in black and white. What they want to do. Total control. Problem, solution, reaction. That's how they work. Create the problem, come up with a solution.
One thing they can't control just yet is the thoughts within our head.
Right.
And I think if you get to that point, exactly, if you get to that point with Mr. Elon Musk, who's uniting the kingdom and only got our best intentions, yet he's working on the brain chips to someday control you all. I'm sorry, but at what point do we say enough's enough now? Because once that chip's in our head, there's no freedom of thought or anything then, is there?
Yeah, it's dangerous. It really is dangerous. I mean, I can remember not long ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, saying to an old friend of mine, haven't we been lucky? We missed the Second World War. We've had no real big conflict in our lifetime. And then, bang, along it came. So we're living amongst a war right now. There's a huge war going on right now, and it's spiritual.
Yeah. 100%.
People are waking up.
Yeah. That's what I always say. It's good versus evil, isn't it? We're seeing.
Yes,
and we're seeing the amplification of evil.
And they'll double down. They're not going to stop. They have to be eliminated. They're not going to say, oh, okay, you're right. Yeah, we won't do that anymore. They're doubling down. Because that's all they can do.
Yeah.
And they're out in the open. They're not hiding anymore. Which is to our benefit. We can see them.
Well, hopefully someday they'll have to answer to the cosmic court of truth.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'll approach them. I'll approach them with the second card.
Yeah. Yeah, because there has to be some accountability, doesn't there? Because they say that every action there's a reaction and stuff.
Yeah.
So hopefully that all these people putting negative out into the world and doing harm to others, hopefully someday that they will have to answer for that in some way.
I've been waiting for years to hear that Bill Gates and Tony Fauci have been arrested, but it just doesn't seem to happen. There's so much evidence there.
Yeah. Well, maybe
it's
the
just a game. They're just playing a game.
Maybe the real justice isn't within this realm.
No.
That's all. That's all that we can hope for. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I have certain beliefs about that. There's no judgment as such, but there is a self-judgment. So if you did harm to a lot of others, when you get on the other side, you will feel all that harm that you did to others. And apparently that would be very unpleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people.
But you may come back and do it all again.
Yeah.
You know, some psychics believe that a soul could come and reincarnate 10,000 times and make exactly the same mistakes every time.
Right.
Because of the
Almost
veil.
Like,
you
learning from
know.
the experiences.
Well, you don't know, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know about your previous lives.
So if you go into life,
hypnotically, I'd love to find out. I think I was a sailor many times because I feel at home on the sea. And I may have been Thai once because I feel an affinity with Thailand.
Yeah. You said that in the last episode. As soon as you got there, you could feel something was different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so, well,
I'm kind of looking forward to crossing over. I don't really want it to happen just yet.
No.
But I'll be ready for it when it comes. And
hopefully not for a long time.
No, hopefully
and
for
you
not
can get some more books out there into the world. And
I'd like to die in my sleep when I'm 106.
Okay.
But we can't always have what we want, can we?
Yeah.
But I don't worry about it. Bring it on, whatever it is. I'll deal with it. Fearless.
No, it's been fascinating discussion.
Yeah.
Do you want to just?
Really happy to talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah, and, it's been good.
You know, if any of your viewers or listeners would really like to see the best possible evidence out there for life after death, buy the book, become part of the project, leave your verdict on the website, and then give the book to somebody that you know and ask them to do the same. Approach it with an open mind, take as long as you like, come to a conclusion, and then carry on with your life, knowing that you are more than your physical body. What a wonderful thing to know.
Yeah.
You
and
know,
I think knowing that alone,
believing.
And I think knowing that alone does shift your perspective on life, doesn't it? Because there might be some accountability for your actions in this one. So tread lightly, treat people with respect, compassion.
Right. Well, there will.
Just be a good person.
Self-accountability.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely important to know that. And I think if most people stepped into life with that in mind, and not even from a religious stance, you know, that there's going to be a dude on the other side with a book and he's going through all what you've done wrong and stuff, you know. It could, like you said, it's just more of a, in the spiritual sense that, you know, you need to understand.
You get a life review, apparently. And there's no time in that dimension. So you could relive your whole life.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, and you would say to yourself, my God, did I do that? How could I have done such a terrible thing to that person? And then you feel the pain they felt. There's the learning.
Yeah. Definitely. Wow. So yeah, it's been episode 28 with author Paul Wallis. It's been really good.
Happy to be here. By the way, I'm not the Paul Wallis. There is a Paul Wallis, Paul Anthony Wallis. He's he's a best-selling author. And I have to admit that some of the people who bought my book actually thought I was him.
Oh, okay.
So I sent him a message apologizing for that. I never intended on that.
That can't be helped that you've got the same name.
Yeah. When anyone says, oh, I love all your work, I just say, you know, I'm not that guy.
Right.
I mean, he really is a best-selling author.
Right. Well, your books are good as well. You know, I hope one day that you're a best-selling author. Because you certainly provide some of the best stories and insights and wisdom, more importantly.
I try. I've given up service to self. About 10 years ago, I gave up service to self, and my life changed.
Yeah,
I just do what I can for people now. And if somebody rips me off or takes advantage of me, I don't get angry. I just, that's what they want to do. That's fine. I'll just terminate my friendship and move on. Have no opinion. And just be nice to people.
I think if more people did that, the world would definitely be a better place, wouldn't it? And I think we need to spread that awareness and knowledge. And as time goes on, hopefully humanity will evolve to something more fair.
Yes, we must always have hope.
Yeah, definitely.
And there is hope.
Yeah. Right, Paul, I think I'm going to have to probably stop. I think we're around 2 hours.
Let's wrap it up, eh?
Yeah. But it's been absolutely amazing.
Great chatting to you.
Yeah, you too, sir,
we'll do it again sometime in the future.
Yeah, definitely. And I
always watch
keep you updated.
Your stuff.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, some great guests.
I feel like I've not kind of found, I mean, the podcast's something I'll always do, but in terms of little videos in between, I've not really found my niche yet. So I'm just testing the waters and a few different little things. Yeah, I did a little video on divide and rule.
I saw that.
You've seen that? Yeah. And that was just me off the basis of seeing all this division going on and trying to make people understand that, you know,
you'll get a knock on your door, you know, at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
People are being arrested.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. And I think America's looking at Britain right now and saying, what is going on? I mean, people being arrested for posting an opinion or whatever on social media. And it is ridiculous.
I think actually Trump despises Obama. Okay, let's wrap it up, man.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so I'll make sure all your links and everything are in the description below.
Right.
And I'll also pass your book to family members to read and give me back if that's all right, just to get their opinion.
Please do that. Spread the word.
Sometimes when you tell someone about something, they might be like, oh, well, I'll look it up, and then they forget. Look, if I just say, look, here's the book, go and read it, give it me back, and I'll give them a link to make their verdict and stuff as well. And thank you for coming back onto IE Media. I do appreciate your support as well. And I'll keep supporting you through your YouTube channel. Keep watching. Guys, head over to the Toothless Truth Teller, is it?
Triple T.
Yeah. Triple T on YouTube, and go and check out some of your wonderful content of you just sat talking and not scripted or anything, is it? It's just organic.
Not. It's totally just off the cuff.
Yeah. And I think people, in a time of like AI scripts and all this fakeness, I think people appreciate some real human connection.
Yeah.
And just speaking off the cuff. But yeah, thank you very much, Paul, again. I'll end the recording here, and then you might just need to wait a minute for it to finish uploading in the background, if that's all right. Thank you to everyone again for tuning in to IE Media Podcast episode 28 with Paul Wallis. Part 2. Part 1 will be in the description. Completely different conversation. We got into Paul's past life experiences, his extreme backpacking and risk-taking, which has led him to some amazing experiences and journeys, which we discussed.
Right. Thank you, man.
Very eye-opening podcast, so please check that one out as well. And if you can, be ever so kind to leave a like or a dislike if it wasn't for you, and a comment, because it really does help the algorithm and it will help the show grow. So thank you very much, and that's it. Another episode done.
If you want the raw true, it's the frontline stand. Media tear holes in the train. They divide us up tight just to limit the chance.
But united we rise.
The whole thing advance.
When the truth pops off,
Ain't no holding it back.
different lives.
Same fight, all under attack. IE Media.
Yeah, we're closing the cracks.
Welcome to the show.
Peel the lies off the facts. Got a story that cuts deep. Something real the world should know. Tap in with
Marty Hardy. IE.
He amplifies voices that never get shown. Every bit of support helps the vision grow. And together we lift this higher till it hits worldwide. Beyond this little studio.
Real people, real stories, real talk. Welcome to the show.
The